Welcome to another fascinating video of Did You Know?, where we explore the stories behind the everyday concepts that shape our world. Fire is the main reason for the human civilization to grow so far. But if you handle that fire a little carefully, the fire that brought you up will burn you down. The fire of the forest. In 2022, a small excavation was conducted in Poland. This is a small fossil. It is not a human or animal fossil. It is a piece of meat. When you look at the age of the fossil, it is a big shock. This fossil was created 450 million years ago. If you think that we have found many fossils like this, the very first fossil of this fossil has been burned. How was a fossil burned 450 million years ago? By the fire of the forest. This forest fire is not a new thing. It is a common thing that has been happening on this earth for several million years. When the first tree came to the ground from the water, when the trees began to grow on the ground, the forest fires have been a common thing on this earth since then. Now, we breathe only 20% of the atmosphere oxygen on Earth. But in the early days, almost 30% of the atmosphere oxygen was there. What is needed for a fire? Oxygen. Along with that, fuel. If you look at your own forests and mountains, the trees that are inside are aged, or cut by humans, or fall due to natural disasters. The fallen trees will be a perfect fuel. There is oxygen and there is fuel. A small fire is enough. The whole forest will burn. When there is no human, lightning or thunder will occur in the forest often. Or sometimes, even a strong wind will simply kick off a huge forest fire. For millions of years, forest fires have destroyed many forests. There are three types of forest fires. 1. Crown fires. As the name implies, this fire goes up to the top of the trees. That is, it destroys almost the entire tree. It is very dangerous to stop this forest fire and to go near it, because the monkeys at the top will burn each branch and cross the tree. Similarly, if you breathe a little air, this crown fire will spread easily to the nearby trees and spread in the opposite direction. You can't stop it. Crown fires exist only if you think so. 2. Surface fires. As the name implies, this is a fire that travels along the road. This fire spreads to each place through dried grass and grass. Even if it is difficult to stop it, it can be stopped by humans. The fire does not go beyond the meaning. You can control this fire with a big stick or water. But if there is a lot of wind, the surface fire will turn into a crown fire. You have to be careful. The third type of forest fires that can't be stopped by humans is ground fires. It is a fire that burns under the ground, on the ground. You can't even know if the fire is burning or not. It burns slowly, but it can burn for years. Sometimes the fire turns into a crown fire. So there are three types of forest fires. These three types of forest fires can be created naturally or by humans. For example, 90% of the forest fires are created by humans. Only 10% of the forest fires are created by fire. 90% of the forest fires are created by humans. For example, electrical power surges, power lines falling, camping in the forest, fire, etc. Due to these small mistakes, huge forest fires are created. If you ask if climate change is the reason for these forest fires, it is said that there are chances for it. In the last 10 years, global temperature has increased. There is no change in that. But we can't say, because even before millions of years, such days were created for increasing temperature. Even now, global temperature has increased. This is also one of the reasons we should consider. Forests with thousands of acres are destroyed in a day or two. If you think it is right, it is wrong. It is a part of fire ecology. Just like land and water live together, fire also lives together. Consider a big farm. Millions of trees are growing. All the trees fall at the end of the season. If all the trees fall at the same place, it is like closing a specific place. Not only that, more fuel is added to that specific place. If you pour petrol in a box and keep it on fire, it will burn. If there is no petrol, it won't burn. You should apply this concept to the forest. You should consider the petrol in the forest. When dry trees, branches, and leaves are together, a small fire starts. Even if the forest is destroyed, new life forms and new ecology will be created. A small fire will change the ecosystem of the forest. It will destroy the existing life in the forest and create a chance for new life to live. It will burn the nutrients in the dead trees and send them back to the soil. New nutrients are the reason for new trees and plants to grow. It will chase away the existing life in a specific place and create a new life. It will diversify the ecosystem. The environment and ecosystem will be divided. It is an invasive species. It will enter the forest and destroy the existing life in the forest. To put it simply, a forest fire will reset the forest. It will restart the forest. Even if the existing life is destroyed, it will create a chance for new life to live. The new life forms will adapt to it. It is called pyrophile. Some trees and life forms have created a forest fire. Long pole pines are tall and tall pine trees. Usually the seeds are buried in small pits. Long pole pines will plant the seeds in the same place for a long time. The seeds will be there for 10 to 20 years. How does it affect other places? The reason is the forest fire. High temperature will melt the pine trees and cause the forest fire. When the forest fire destroys the forest, the new life will grow. In the future, even if the forest fire destroys the pine trees, the seeds will create new life. So, the forest fire will create the new life. In the second or third day of a forest fire, some plants will start growing in the same place. This will prevent the next rain from destroying the forest. It will spread new nutrients through the plants. There are many different plants in this species. Firewood lilac is also a plant that grows in the same place. Fire beetles will lay their eggs in the same place where the forest fire created. The condition of the beetles will cause the eggs to grow. Fire-adapted species. In some places, there are fire-protected species that protects itself from fire. Trees like Pantra sapine and oak trees has strong fires that can help the trees as they grow. There are many types of fire-adapted species. Think about it. All these are living with fire. Only one of them is a human. Can you believe that we are also living with fire in the beginning? Now we have gas in our house. Fire is a simple thing. In the beginning, fire was seen as a godly thing. Not only that, we get it too. Before man invented how to create fire, fire was given to him by wildfires. A man who was eating only vegetables got food through wildfires. He learned how to protect himself from wildfires. In the beginning, humans also lived with wildfires. We are also a fire-adapted species. Only after that we learned how to create fire. Even now, some indigenous people who live in the forest use wildfires to create the necessary space for them. In the American side, wildfire is a very simple thing. The indigenous people create a controlled wildfire to expand their space. They can destroy the wildfire if they want. They create a small wildfire and start their life in that place. Till now, for crores of years, these wildfires have been used to protect the forest. If you ask if all the wildfires are good. As I said earlier, wildfires were created in the beginning. But according to statistics, 90% of the wildfires are created by humans. These wildfires are dangerous to humans. Many humans have started their lives in the forest, as wildfires spread through a small fire. When the fire comes to the place where humans live, it will cause a lot of destruction. Wildfires created for self-sufficiency are very dangerous, but this kind of danger prevents natural wildfires. When some wildfires are created naturally, humans should not prevent it. If humans keep preventing wildfires, at some point, it will explode. It will cause a lot of natural disasters. This is how wildfire destruction happened in the 1900s. What happened? How did humans react? Let's continue. Stay tuned for more fascinating stories on Did You Know? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.